So thank you for having me today for my talk here. And the topic today is the hunting fields. This presentation that's titled The Hunting Field is about men and women relations. In short, it's about determining and meeting the cost. Women set the cost as they have since the beginning of time, and men compete to meet the cost. As the story of life in the world of mating goes, basically to hunt and to be hunted. Hunting basically falls into two categories within the marketplace. You got the sexual marketplace value, and then there's your financial marketplace value. But before we get off into the marketplaces, in order for one to hunt, one needs a license, as in a hunting license. So a hunting license goes as such. You have, I'm gonna go from smallest to largest. You have chicken hunting. The chicken hunting fee is zero, and you don't have to pay anything, and you can hunt unlimited. The world is overrun by chicken. Fishing license, typically 17 bucks, unlimited, catch unlimited amount of fish. Rabbit, rabbit is I believe 26.50 for a license, and also unlimited. We're overrun by rabbits. When you step up to deer, the license is 25 bucks for 1 buck only. Now these prices can vary state by state, but typically it's going to be somewhere around in the neighborhood, right? And then when you progress from deer, you go to African big game hunting. Now that fee is 50,000, and you're hunting. That's where you're hunting elephant, lions, leopards, rhinos, Cape buffalo, things of that nature, right? And so when you look at big game versus small game, there's about four or five things that you need to consider. Number one, these are hunting tidbits, I like to call them. Number one, you can come away empty-handed, when you're more so with big game than with the others. So you can experience an unsuccessful trip. Number two, the differences are the odds. The odds of coming away empty-handed, chicken hunting or fishing, are exponentially lower than your odds of hunting big game. So the frustration level should be higher with the unlimited catch opportunities than they are with the big game. Number three, that unsuccessful trip is a lot more costly when it comes to big game versus the others also. And number four, you rarely see someone successfully come away with two big game catches on the same trip. And number five, let's not forget the element of danger that comes with hunting big game. One false move, and you could lose everything. So when you look at this, basically as this pertains to men and women, so women are typically to be hunted, and men are to be hunters. And so as a woman, I would want to portray myself and put myself out there in the big game category. I wouldn't want to be out here with as chicken and fish and rabbit, where anybody can get a license. When I'm big game, there's only a select few that can get that type of license. And as a man, my job is to get myself to the point where I'm carrying that big game hunting license, where I'm out here looking for big game. And I will definitely get into that. So now let's move into the sexual marketplace value of men and women, right? Of women per se. So the traditional view of the sexual marketplace value is inaccurate, and that men actually age like wine, meaning their value increases over time. Women's value is primarily based on their youth and beauty, which decreases over time. Men, on the other hand, have a value based on their ability to protect, provide, and procreate, which increases over time. There is a concept out here called the wall, which is a point where a woman's value starts to decline. Men should be optimistic about their future dating prospects, as their value will continue to increase as they get older, but I'll get into that as we move on. So let's look at the sexual value marketplace for the interested women out here. Women in their 20s, high real estate value. Typically, they have less baggage or mileage, never been married, or no children or young children. Bodies are pristine, and they usually don't have anything for it to be. They don't usually have to do anything for their bodies to be this way. It just comes naturally. You get in, so that's when you're at high sale, right? Everybody's looking for the high value real estate, and that's where it comes in at. And then when you jump into the next phase of things, women age 30 to 34, 50% off. The primary reason why 50% off sales are the best is that they offer significant discounts on products. Retailers use 50% sales to clear out old inventory and make room for new products. As a result, they offer deep discounts on products that may not have sold well during the previous season. Then the women jump into the 35 to 39. That's when you go into the clearance rack. You find yourself on the clearance rack. Number one, you have huge discounts. Clearance sales offers huge discounts on a variety of items. You can find that everything is significantly lower than their original cost. The quality of you can find quality items there still. Just because the items are on clearance doesn't mean that they are poor quality. Most of the items on clearance are overstocked and simply outdated, but the quality remains the same. This means that you can get a high quality item at a significantly lower price. And you have a variety of choices. Clearance sales offer a wide variety of choices. You can find items that you may not have been able to afford before. For example, something that was previously out of your price or social range may now be within your reach due to the clearance sale. And then women in their 40s, you typically that's the outlet mall. They're at the outlet mall. When it comes to shopping, many people always on the lookout for the best deals and discounts. One of the main advantages of shopping at a premium outlets is the wide variety of brands and products available. Another major draw for shoppers is the unbeatable discounts offered at a premium outlets. Brands often offer substantial markdowns on their products to attract customers to these outlet stores. These discounts can range anywhere from 30% to 70% off the original retail price. While some may argue that these discounts are not as significant as they appear due to inflated original prices, it's important to note that premium outlet malls still offer better discounts compared to regular retail stores selling the same products at full price. And then we go into women in their 50s, Goodwill. I won't even go into Goodwill, but I will say less resource consumption, fewer things are thrown away, less chemical pollution when you're dealing with things that come from Goodwill. People get to give, get to feel good about themselves or whatnot. And last but not least, women hit their 60s. Unfortunately, you're talking about yard sales, garage sales, where you find great deals, opportunity for negotiations, home decor on a budget, you know, things of that nature. And so, and we find these things to be true because when you're looking at the sexual marketplace value, let's be honest, who has the higher sexual marketplace value as far in terms of men and women? So when you say a 20-year-old man versus a 20-year-old woman, who has the higher sexual marketplace value? The woman. When you're looking at a 25-year-old man and a 25-year-old woman, who has the higher sexual value marketplace? The woman. And when you get to the 30-year-old man versus the 30-year-old woman, all of a sudden it shifts. Now the man has he's higher in the sexual marketplace value. 35 year, same thing with a 35-year-old man and a 35-year-old woman, the man. 40-year-old woman, 45-year-old man, the man, and so on and so forth in 5-year increments. Now I'll move on to the men, and the financial value marketplace is where we hit for men at. Now, there was a study that was conducted on a popular dating app. The study found that men and women have different peak sexual marketplace values, which we already know. For women, their peak value is at 18 years old. For men, their peak value is at 50 years old. The study also found that women's value declines over time, which I mentioned, while men values remain fairly stable for about 20 years. And that's typically a work life. Excuse me. The writer argues that these findings are important because they show that men and women have different priorities when it comes to dating. Women are more likely to be attracted to men who are older and more established, while men are more likely to be attracted to women who are younger and more attractive. Now, as far as men earning money, you know, most people say, well, I want a man that makes 100K a year. At least we can start at 100K. Well, I got news for you. 18% of people in the United States of America make 100K plus per year. 18%. That means 82% of the people in this country make less than $100,000 a year. So that's almost like a fairy tale. When you say, I want a man, he's got to at least make $100,000 a year. Well, how is that possible? When only 18% of the United States of American citizens make 100K plus a year. And so let's look at let's put these earnings at a level if we can. 100K plus would be platinum. That make you a platinum man. 75 to 99 will make you a diamond man. 50 to 74,000 will make you gold, and under 50, unfortunately, that will put you at ordinary. And we're just talking about this. Remember, this is based off what women say, based off what they're looking at. So in order for a man to get the diamond status, let's look at some successful professions for men. Platinum are usually business owners, sports, entertainment, you know, um, things of that nature. When you're looking at diamond for women, physicians, lawyers, engineers. When you're looking at gold, you're talking about high volume sales guys, stocks, education, law enforcement, administration, ordinary bit of everything else. Now, however, there are question marks, you know, social services, truck drivers, sales at times, real estate. Their incomes depend on their ability to maintain it, and so you can get out here and you can catch a lot when it comes to that. And so in closing, to be successful in the hunting fields out here, women should strive to place themselves as big game out here in these fields, and men should strive to earn the opportunity at possessing a big game license. Otherwise, you find yourself out here chasing rabbit, chasing fish, trout, guppies, things of that nature, chasing chicken. And women, you guys will find yourself out here with a man who wants a man with a chicken license. There's no such thing as a chicken license. It's free to, to hunt chicken, and it's unlimited. Who wants a man with a fishing license or with a deer license, which seems, ooh, that's pretty big, but you get $1 per year. And so when you look at these things, and it becomes important to understand when you're looking at here, for those of us that are out here in these hunting fields and still trying to hunt, or out here trying to be hunted, these are things that we need to consider. You need to consider the sexual marketplace value, where a woman's going to outdo you all the way up to 30. You need to look at the financial marketplace value, where a man is expected to be the earner. You're expected to be that, and that's just all it is to it. And you have to work your way up to the point where you're earning a six-figure income, or as close to, or as close as possible to the six-figure income. The more money you make, the bigger the license. The bigger the license, the bigger the game that you hunt. The bigger the game that's afforded to you, that you get that is in your field, your eyesight, within the scope of your line of sight. And so these are things to think about. And also, again, when you look at it from the standpoint of out here hunting, women, take it easy on us men here, because for a woman to say catch a high value man, and when you look at, based on, again, what women have said out there, who they consider high value men: Idris Elba, Tom Brady, Brad Pitt, and the likes. Well, if you go and look at these guys' wives are all size 2, size 4. If these guys' wives are bigger than that, that's because they've been with them for quite a while. These women have given these guys 4 or 5 children, have given them children, been with them from the beginning. Now you've gotten older, you've grown older together, and now, okay, baby, it's okay. You can let go, because I'm not the same either. I'm not earning, is starting to go down and everything else. So that's called a teamwork, being together in a team. But when you're talking about just out here in the hunting fields, all women have to do, basically, when you look out, all you got to do is look at television. Look at television, look at the magazine. They'll tell you what beauty is. And so, according to them, beauty is thin and young and full of vitality. And so, if you put yourself in your shoes, if we're putting your shoes, women, all I have to do is just check myself, make sure to maintain my weight, make sure to maintain my beauty and my vitality. Now it's the man, how do I go from, as a sanitation worker, there's nothing wrong with sanitation. You need those. It's a good job. It's a city job. But how do I go from that to Bill Gates status? How much work does it take for me to get from that status to Bill Gates status? As opposed to, how much work do you have to do to go from a size 8 to a size 6? from a size 10 or 12 to a size 6. When you measure the two out, it is the man that has the most work, and he's the one that has to be out here really grinding and putting in the work to raise his value as far his hunting license value. And so just understand that. So go easy on the men out here when you really fully understand what we have to deal with, and we in turn have to understand what you have to go with. And so there it is. There's my presentation. I hope this helps someone out there. And thank you for that and allowing me to have the opportunity to present to you guys. And now I will field questions if there is any.
Quick question. Now, with that being said, it facilitates upon the individual that's in the relationship, right, to want better, but doesn't that take both of them, or is it subjectly to separate to have better?
Well, it would definitely take both of them, but when you basically what I'm saying is that when you're out here in the field, and so now when I'm out here in the hunting field, I'm not attached to anyone, and she's not attached to anyone. She's out here trying to get hunted. I'm out here trying to hunt. And so we're speaking on in terms of that. If I'm a woman, do I want somebody with a fishing license being able to catch me? No, of course they're all going to say I'm big game. Every woman you go and talk to, and they're going to say that they're big game. You know, but okay, big game. So then how do we determine that? How is that determined? And I'm only speaking in the United States of America, but I'm pretty sure that's all over the world. So how does society determine what big game is? Because I'm looking at some people that I've spoken with. So if you're big game, what does that make open? Or if you're a big game, what does that make Giselle Bunch? What does that make them if you're a big game? So they must be gargantuan game then, and there's no such thing. So it's just you're right. It takes the work on both ends. It's the man that's men are we're judged and based on the financial market, our financial marketplace value, and women are going to be judged on their sexual marketplace value.
Yeah, I have one point here. I think like fertility is also a big factor in this. Can you explain it?
Most definitely fertility is everything. And so when you're a young guy, if they call it a young bull, I'm out here, men are out here trying to establish their name, their brand, their family name, and that takes having children. And so fertility is important. You're not going to pick a woman that can't have children, or an older woman that's already had her children and she's not having any more children. Well, that doesn't make sense. If I'm a young bull out here and I got a great job, I just graduated college, I just graduated law school, I just graduated med school, I got a doctorate, man, I'm out here looking for high real estate. There's no way I'm going to be out here even looking in the 35s and ups and this and that if you're talking about fertility. And in that case, I'm out here looking for big game, and big game for me is going to be between ages 20 and 29. And when you're going that way, because typically you would think that there shouldn't be the chances for fertility issues between the ages of 20 and 29 will be a lot lower than they will be for 35 or 40. Well, technology has risen now, so women are having children in their 50s now, but you'll find that the fertility issues should be a lot lower when you're going for the high real estate, and that's the women from the age 20 to 29. And that's not saying for all of us that have women that are beyond that age that our women aren't big game, but I'm just talking about for people that are in the hunting fields now. For those of us that's married, we're no longer in the field. We're retired. We're out of the field. For anybody that's just going into the fields, you're still out there. This pertains to you.
You think you're focusing on what the average person thinks or the majority thinks. And to me, quality of a person would have more about their finding a woman that's intellectual, that has a great heart, and that there's a lot of women out there who are progressing and growing themselves and are in the business field and making money. To me, how would you define the quality of a woman is what
Well,
is my B's
is
question.
what your big question is. That's a great quote. That's a great question. So let me ask you this question, and I'm gonna use his name, Thomas Patrick Brady, because he's always someone that everyone knows. Would Tom Brady care about her business acumen and her job and her profession? Would you think that would matter to Tom? Tom's worth 400 million. Do you think her business and what she does would matter to Tom and the Brady family? Because she's not making 400 million a year. No matter what education she's got, what she has, she's not making that. And according to those statistics, you'll find a lot of those women that are big in their careers and great in education, has all these education. A lot of them you'll find are single. A lot of them, because that is a commitment, and there's no knock to them. It's just a commitment. You can't serve two gods. And so when I say that to myself, there's an old saying, and I'm going to say this because this saying is out there. I heard this a long time ago with regards to race. We don't differentiate between race here amongst us, and that's great. That's a great thing for us, and that's why I love this atmosphere that we have and that we've created for ourselves. But people have heard this before, where they say that black women go to college to get an education, white women go to college to get a husband. I mean, that's always been out there, you know. And I think that that's understanding that this is a man's world, and I'm not going to make more than men, and men still bring in more money than women. So why would I go to college? Yeah, I can focus on becoming business and being in business I could do that, or I can marry a doctor and I can have his children. I can marry a surgeon and I can have his children. Guess what? My that guy I'm dating that you guys laugh at, his name is Elon. Yeah, I take classes with Elon. Okay, and everybody laughs at me because I'm with Elon and you guys are with the basketball players and the football players. But now this guy Elon is now Elon Musk, and now he's putting rocket ships up in space. So let me ask you, so would Elon care about what she does for a living? You think? Would it matter to him?
Not really.
Not
But
really.
in the past, some millionaires have thought about family ties, not what she makes, maybe, but what her family makes. I don't know
Well,
if that would go into this.
well, of course, it always goes, but that goes back to the family brand, and I think that goes back to the Dr. Asher point about fertility. And so when we have to keep the fertility going, and so when you're looking at the family brand, I don't think that the Trump brand is really concerned about what the woman does for a living. If his son Barron Trump is in love with a woman, I don't think that they're really concerned about what she does for how much education she has, because the Trump family's going to take care of that. They got that. They got that. Look at Meghan Markle, who married Prince, was it Harry? What's she doing for a living now? Have we heard anything about Meghan Markle? No, she's on the compound. She's staying at the palace. Well, I think they moved away from the palace and they're moving around. But you haven't heard anything about her career, have you? No, you have not. She's married to Prince Harry or Prince William, whichever one it is. And so that, unfortunately, is the way of the world, because when you go back to the scriptures, to the oldest known book, which is the scriptures, the man was out here working, and the man put himself, he was the hunter. Adam was the one that was the first one out here hunting. He had to name everything, put everything in its proper place. All Eve had to do was look beautiful and just follow the instructions of God, which she didn't get from God. She got from Adam. This is why the serpent was able to trick her, because God never talked to Eve personally and told her not to eat from the tree. God never told her to stay away from the serpent. God told Adam this, and Adam was supposed to tell Eve this. So where that breakdown and that communication went is neither here nor there for what we're talking about today. But however, it has always been looked at as man to be the one to go out and hunt the women. Back in the day, a man had to provide 3 years dowry, whatever his salary was. 3 years he had to go and give to his potential bride's dad. I want to marry your daughter. Well, you know what it means. Okay, you're from a good family. They own all the sheep over there. They're good sheep herders. They got about 50,000 sheep. They own about 600 acres of land. That's a great family to be with. Fine. So what they did is that we promised to you that we're giving you a virgin, not only physically, but her eyes are virgin. She hasn't seen all this riffraff. Her ears are virgin. She hadn't heard all of this riffraff. She doesn't speak riffraff. Her mouth is a virgin, so she doesn't come from that. So you're getting a clean slate a blank slate. And you guys are saying that you raised a guy who's proud of his family name, this family crest, and he's an earner. He's going to be a good man. He's going to be a good provider. Number one, he's going to be a good provider, and he's going to take care of our daughter, and they're going to have children together, and they'll have their 8 and 10 children. It has always been that way. And so when we take that to modern times, I'm out here and I need that big game license. Otherwise, once I have the big game license, the whole field is available to me, right? If I just have chicken license, I can only hunt chicken. I can't go and get fish. I'm gonna have to pay money for that, $17 for that, right? So I got the fish license. Now I can always hunt fish and chicken. I go and get my rabbit's license. Cool. I got rabbit, fish, chicken. But when you have big game, you have it all. And why would I go hunt deer if I can go get a rhino? You know, who's going to do that if you're a hunter? So when you're looking at that, you are absolutely correct, Brother Jackson, that I just think when you look at it, when you let society speak to you today, I don't care what country you go to, I think when you're talking about men in powerful positions or men that are wealthy, I don't think that they care about what the woman does for a living and how much education she has, because the number one thing is fertility and him keeping his family name going. And so when he marries her, you know, her job is going to be to turn this house into a home, because without her, that home is nothing. Yes, sir.
This also goes with what's happened about some men who get older and they drop their wife and children and go after an 18-year-old.
Yes.
And people think they're going crazy. They're just doing what you're saying again.
Well, I mean, but again, so how do you stop that? I mean, that's just society. That's just how it is. And so, well, on the flip side, you got a lot of women that once they get to the point where the man get to the point where he's hit that financial wall, that plateau where he can only go lower now. A lot of women that they step up and say, right now, I'm not happy now. I'm unhappy. I'm ready to go. I'm taking half of this with me. I'm taking half of this with me, and I'm taking the children. So that works on both ends. So I'm glad you said that, because I know we're running for time here. But so that as this guy, you know, when typically, like you said, about 20 years into the workforce. So my job, you think the Trumps are worried about? Does the Trumps have a 20-year work span? Do they have a lifespan? No, it's beyond that. What about the Walton family, the Walmarts? No, it goes on and on. The ketchup, the Heinz family, it goes on and on. So now you start talking about generational wealth. And so myself as a big game hunter, I'm thinking about generational wealth. And so generational wealth, generational health, the whole thing, because I need to be vibrant as well. It's not just on the woman to be vibrant, but it just, unfortunately, I have to be more vibrant in my pocket first. And she has to be more vibrant in her physical appearance first. Otherwise, you can't even attract me. And I'm gonna sum it up with this. And you can go around and do this experiment. I've asked many women that are successful women, hey, would you date a guy that work at McDonald's? They will tell you, heck no. I've seen millionaires go into McDonald's and see nice looking girls that work there and give them their phone number and say, you should call me. You know, so it's just different rules to the game. That's it. Hope I answered your question.
What about being in pursuit of when I was told a long time ago, in search of a woman, a man search for a woman that she had to be evenly yoked
Right.
with that man, and that
Right.
she had to be able to bring something to the table. What's your thought on that, brother?
Well, and that is correct. And so if you come from a family that's got hundreds of millions of dollars, the thing that she's bringing to the table is children. She's able to provide us with children, and this is my offspring, and so that the name continues. And so that's because the two most valuable things that a woman can do for a man is to take his name and produce children for him. because that's his legacy and how he continues to go back for those that understand the science in that. So those are the two greatest things that he could do. And so again, if I'm from the Trump family, your quantum physics degree from Yale University means absolutely nothing to us. Absolutely nothing to us. And so, if I'm again Tom Brady, no longer divorced Giselle, now he's dating another supermodel. I mean, so I'm pretty sure that these guys aren't going up to women and saying, "Hey, I need to sit down and say we need to be evenly yoked," meaning that she needs to be down with the plan. So if I'm Charles Walton and we're of the Walmart clan, I'm for Walmart. I'm everything Walmart. And so when you say evenly yoked, that means she needs to become everything Walmart. And if she's not going to be everything Walmart, then we're going to become unevenly yoked. And so typically you'll find in more ordinary homes, and I don't say ordinary isn't a bad thing, it's not a bad thing at all. But when I say ordinary homes, typically you'll find that men that are don't have big game license, maybe they have deer license. And so with society, with the times now, the pricing and everything is the cost of living is raises every 16 years now. And so now, since I just have a deer license, it's important for my woman to come to the table with something. She needs to come with some education. So she needs to because she's employable. She can get it. She has a career. She can make money. So if she's making 60,000 and I'm making 60,000 together, we make 120,000. Now she needs to bring something to the table in terms of that. But if I'm already making $200,000-$300,000 a year, it doesn't matter what she does. She does. She can. Hey, if she's just 25 and she's just look fantastic in a bathing suit and she's willing to follow the plan and she wants to have children, if I'm in the business of having children, then that's the one that's evenly yoked with me, as long as she's down with the plan, whatever. But I have to at least have a plan for her to be down with. And that's a lot of the problem is that society doesn't promote people's names. They don't promote that to you and tell you that your surname is supposed to be super important. Super important. It's supposed to mean something. It's supposed to mean something out here in these streets or out here in these fields, since that's the topic of this conversation. And now we've lost that. There's a disconnect. You got a lot of guys that's got their mom's last names, you know, don't even know what their name means. And so, my dad was a factory worker, and his dad before that might have been a factory worker as well. And who knows before that. And so at some point, someone has to step up and say, hey, the Threet's name has to mean something. And so that starts today, as far as along my dad's line. I can't talk about cousins and things of that nature, but that starts today. Threet's, this is what Threet's means today. And so then that gets passed down to my son, my protege, and hopefully his sons or his daughters or whatever, and they gets passed down. And I have a daughter as well. Same thing with her. They gets passed down to them and they keep that going. And so, like the Walton family, like Sam Walton, I don't want to come back and Walmart's no longer around. There's something else that's in the lead now. And so yeah, that becomes very, very important. There's some tricky talk, there's some turns there, and people think that women want to be the lead, they want to take the lead. No, they don't really want to take the lead. When you really listen to them talk, they're just not enough guys out there that can take the lead. And they should not. And they should not surrender themselves unto a guy that doesn't even have a name. The name doesn't even mean anything to him, and he doesn't have a brand. He doesn't have something that he's following, something that he's passionate about. Why would you follow a man that doesn't have that?
Can we say we are just like the flag bearer for the current generation of the family?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are the flag bearer. We are the crest creators. And that crest, it has to start with someone. Fortunately for the Walton family, it started with Sam Walton. Fortunately, McDonald's, the McDonald's thing started with Ray Kroc. So fortunately for them, they had somewhere where it started. The Queen of England, it started from the Queen of England all the way back to the Queen before her and the King before her. So some people can trace that surname back a lot further, because that's how that name means something. For a lot of us that are new into this game like that, hey man, you're the flag bearer, and that name starts now.
I have an opinion, but I'll wait till we finish recording.
Okay. Well, if that's it for the questions, then I am finished for the day, and I appreciate you guys, and thank you for allowing me to bring my presentation called The Hunting Field, which will soon be on YouTube and on the radio. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.